our draft for today, the most interesting 2020 offseason storylines. I've got the trivia question for Peter King. If he gets it right, he gets the first pick. Otherwise, Sims picks first, and I think we know what the first pick will be. Here's the question, Peter. The Chiefs went 50 years between Super Bowl championships. Which team is currently waiting the longest for its next Super Bowl win?
Does that mean that they had to win one already?
Yes.
They had to win one. Okay.
Oh.
I will say Oakland.
The New York Jets.
I don't know.
Super Bowl III champions.
Crap.
The New York Jets to cap the 1968 season.
Yeah.
Hey, when the
It's
lights on,
amazing.
baby,
You
it's
choke,
not
right?
easy. You choke. You hear the Jeopardy music in your head, and you choke. All right, Sims, you're up.
That's right. Don't worry, Peter. We choke on a daily basis. You only have to do it once a week, but it is. It's unreal. It's unreal. I know what you think I'm going to pick, but I'm not going to pick that. I'm not. Because to me, the thing I am most fascinated by this offseason is how much money Patrick Mahomes is going to make. The contract. That's where I'm interested to see. I mean, I really am. To me, this is the most fascinating thing, and I know what you guys are going to pick, and it's going to be the Brady's and Brees thing, and I get it. It's awesome. But I just am like, here's a quarterback that so far exceeded expectations in year 2 and 3 of his career. He's already the best player in football. He's the face of the NFL. He's overcome, some amazing obstacles here. And we know that there's a whole CBA and the TV deal, and they're going to have to break the bank in a way that we've never seen before in the NFL. I mean, this is going to be the first $40 million man. Maybe this is going to be the first guy that actually gets to what Mike Florio has always been saying, a percentage of the salary cap, and forget just about a hard line number. So for me, that is the thing I'm most excited to see, because I don't think Mahomes is going to be very happy to go into the season on this old contract, and I think Kansas City knows that, and they're going to have to find a way to pony up the money and have a creative contract that makes sense for Mahomes for a long, long time.
Hey, we have a lot of picks to make in this segment, but let me make one point, and I have the story at ProFootballTalk.com explaining it in more detail there.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems in doing a deal this year is that Mahomes is due to make only $2.7 million. So when you rip up the 2 years left on his current contract, $2.7 million this year, roughly $24 million next year as the fifth-year option that he'll be entitled to. When you rip it up and replace it with a 5-year, and you don't replace, you have a 5-year, $200 million extension. You get into this whole new money, total value thing. Bottom line, if they sign him to a 5-year, $200 million extension, his actual value at signing is $32 million. And that gap, driven by a $2.7 million compensation package this year, is going to make it hard to do a deal this year because you just can't make the total value and the new money fit. The gap is going to be too large. I think there's a chance he doesn't get his contract until next year. Peter, you're up.
That's overthinking. Both you guys are overthinking this too much, I think, because I've never heard one person call a talk show and say, hey, how much money do you think Mahomes is going to sign for? The fact is, the only thing that fans care about is the guy is going to play for that team. Patrick Mahomes is not playing anywhere else. Whatever he makes, how many zeros he has in his bank account, who cares? Nobody cares. All right. Having said that and slapped you both in the face, I will just say that without any question, it's where does Tom Brady land? Last week when there was a tweet with Tom Brady in Gillette Stadium in the shadows, the free world went out of its collective mind. And so that by far, I don't care if Patrick Mahomes signs for $90 million a year. Tom Brady and his whereabouts this year with the all-time greatest maybe player in the history of the game, that's the story of the offseason.
Yeah, Chris, I don't know what you were thinking. Undoubtedly.
I get it. I told you. I like the other one better.
We spent a whole segment trying to decipher that Escher drawing of Tom Brady. The top's walking in, the bottom's walking out. what's going on
I
here?
had more people in Miami last week ask me what they think of Mahomes' contract than they did where do you think Tom Brady's going to end up playing. I'm just saying. I had more people talk to me about that. Everybody thinks Brady's going back to New England. So I understand that.
They're going to be in for a surprise, I think.
We'll see. We'll see. Make your damn pick, Florio.
We'll see.
All right, Drew Brees, what's he going to do? Is he going to retire? Is he going to play? We're going to have an answer by the end of the month. Chris, I don't know about you, but when we had him in Miami on Friday on the show with us, I came away from that discussion believing he's going to play one more year. Remember when he slipped?
Yes.
We were asking about the 49ers and the Chiefs.
Right.
He said we play both of them next year. Like,
we got you.
I think he's going to play, but until we know the answer, that's going to be one of the big stories.
Yeah, I'm with you there 100%. My next one is the pass interference replay. That to me, what's going to happen there? What adjustments going to be made? Is it going to disappear altogether? I'm really intrigued to where that goes. I mean, it was not a successful experiment this year. I was not in favor of it altogether. Mike, did they bring in the sky judge like you talked about that thing? I don't know. Did they get rid of it altogether? But either way, it was a freaking disaster this year, and it was annoying, and they either need to get rid of it or totally reconstruct how they do it to make it more enjoyable and not to throw fans into a crazy and not to throw people like all three of us who we know football pretty good and we don't know what the hell pass interference is on a given week.
My next one is the fate of the 2015 MVP. That's Cam Newton. And not just where he's going to play, because that's the first domino to fall. Whether the Panthers are going to have him back at a fairly bargain rate compared to what most quarterbacks make. Okay, are the Panthers going to have him back for one more year just to see what they have? Or are the Panthers going to move on? And then secondarily, I think it's all about, what is Cam Newton? Who is Cam Newton? For the last 2 years, we have not seen Cam Newton at any degree of health for any number of weeks in a row. Obviously, he missed almost all of last season. And so right now, I don't know who he is anymore, and I don't know if he's totally healthy. All of that is fascinating to me as well, obviously, as where he ends up.
Peter, I'm stunned. I had pegged your second pick based upon everything I've heard you say about the guy who will be the quarterback in New Orleans after Drew Brees retires, and that's Taysom Hill. And to me, that is a fascinating story. How do the Saints find the cap space to keep him? How do they play out this game of checkers and chess and chicken over what level of restricted free agency tender? Will they invite the possibility of a team giving them up a first-round pick with an offer they won't be able to match if they keep Drew Brees? They need to keep Taysom Hill. They need to feature Taysom Hill. He was the best player on the field for either team in the wild card loss to the Vikings. And I am fascinated to see where this guy goes and what he does, because he's got superstar potential written all over him.
Yeah, I agreed there. I mean, yes, he does. He has superstar. I like both of your guys' picks. I really do. I mean, they were both good. I understand them completely, and the Cam Newton one is fascinating, and Taysom Hill, yeah, he looks like he has the potential to be a star, and I don't know where he goes. Man, I'm a little torn to what to do here with my third one, but I think I'm going to have to go. You were praising our picks just to buy time. No, because, I'm torn in between whether I want to do the quarterbacks in the draft, because I am interested in that, the Joe Burrow, the Tua angle, right? But I think ultimately I'm going to go with Dak Prescott here and that contract situation. Yeah, I just find that fascinating. And it does look like he's going to get franchised, but does a deal get done after he gets franchised at some point? And also, like we've mentioned many times, Mike, I mean, the Cowboys are in the Super Bowl window, and Prescott has a lot of power here with a new coaching regime in town, and Mike McCarthy's going to want to get his era underway in, smooth fashion. If you don't have a long-term contract for your quarterback, going to be hard to get it off into a smooth, get the offseason off smoothly without him there being the leader of the team and the offense and guys in the workouts and things like that. So I don't know where this Dak Prescott thing goes. Dallas has a lot of juggling with a lot of different players and contracts and things like that, but to me, I find that pretty interesting.
I can't believe that I'm with the number 8 pick in this draft right now, and I'm not going to pick where does Tampa go for a quarterback with do they re-sign a guy who had 30 interceptions last year, or where a top 10 all-time statistical quarterback goes? What happens to Phillip Rivers? But I'm going with the possibility of 3 quarterbacks in the top 5 in the draft.
Yeah.
Does Justin Herbert sneak into the top 5?
Right.
And what does the quarterback what is the richness of the quarterback crop with Tua and Herbert? What does that do to Washington's pick? Because I believe that Washington now could totally rebuild its team if it's willing to do 2 things: pass on a quarterback, which it will do, and pass on Chase Young.
Right.
They could trade back twice and get up to 3 additional first-round picks by trading down. Could they do that? Could they say, hey, listen, we want to get great volume over the next 2 drafts, or do we want a guy who's got a chance to be Lawrence Taylor? Washington has a franchise-defining decision ahead of it, and it all centers around how much do you love Herbert and Tua?
Right.
Flip side of what they did in 2012, where they were the ones who gave up all those picks to move up to get RG3, they can slide back and really get the pieces that Ron Rivera needs to turn that team around as quickly as he can in a division that maybe Washington, with a few good moves and a few lucky breaks, ends up being an unlikely contender in 2020. All right, the last one for me, I'm going off the board completely. I'm trying to project what will happen once the XFL starts playing games and starts showcasing some different rules. How much will the XFL influence the NFL? We saw some influence in 2001. We saw some ideas that the NFL cherry-picked from the XFL. What will happen this time around? The 2-point conversion shootout to resolve overtime. How will that resonate with fans? What else that the XFL will be doing will make its way into the NFL either in 2020 or in 2021? I'm fascinated by whether or not the XFL has a chance to survive. I still don't think spring football is going to work because people don't care about football in the spring. No matter how much they love football, they love it during football season. But there could be some very compelling ideas. Remember last year with the AAF, they had that Sky Judge concept, and now that's become something we're pushing for. I know I am very aggressively for the NFL. What ideas from the XFL that we see during the NFL offseason will make their way into the National Football League? All right, that's our draft for the most interesting storylines for the 2020 offseason.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.